Hi, welcome to a Chip Off the Old Block Toys. I'm Jeff. Today we're going to unbox and build set number 21327. It was just released today. It's simply named the Typewriter, and it's of an older typewriter. Of course, all typewriters are old these days because they're not really used. Hi Jenny, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good day. Well, this set here was a Lego Ideas set, so that means it came from a fan, was supported, and Lego decided to build it. It has 2,079 pieces, so this is going to take a couple of live streams to get built, but you know, all we can do is get started, so let's do that. I'm not ancient, but I am of the age of where I was probably one of the last groups of kids that used a typewriter or took typing classes in high school. Maybe not. And hello, Greg. How you doing? I hope you're having a good day there. Oh, so they give us this letter written in many different languages. I'm curious to see what the first language is. Oh, it is, the first one is in English. Okay. Alright, I'm going to set this aside for now. Oh, but not on the surge protector. Okay. Oh, it says currently I have 0 viewers on one spot. Another one, it says I have 3. So I'm not sure which one I have, but however many of you are out there, thank you for watching. Alright. Well, let's try to find bag number 1. It usually has that little tool separator in it. So, okay, here we go. Here's bag number 1. Oh, and Greg, I filmed the Mustang review video, and it's going to be released tonight at midnight, or tomorrow at midnight, I should say. And as previously stated, I'm trying to get back to doing more of these types of videos instead of live streams. So we're working on it. Alright, so it's a 13. So yeah, and I looked at the Adidas shoe a little bit better. That's a set that's coming out August 1st. I looked at that very carefully because there was more pictures released of it, and it looks like there's going to be a whole bunch of new pieces in this set, especially the front of the shoe where it curves. We have similar curves currently, but looks like they took it a step further there, and they instead of just being a straight curve, it looks like they curve up and then they kind of zigzag kind of thing. Hey John, how you doing? Thanks for joining. And I was noticing some other pieces too, like the laces. I didn't recognize those pieces right off, so it looks like it's going to be a very interesting set. New pieces. And like I said, I saw some people online kind of trolling Lego saying, of course, they'd only give you one shoe. And I saw the box of it. It looks like a shoe box that the set's going to come in. So I think they did a really good job on this already. When it comes out, I'll be getting one. And hey, John, you have a good day out there, I hope. Oh my goodness, I got to do this times 9. All right, well, what a way to start. Okay, guys, well, here's number 1. I didn't even do that right. So let me in. Oh, you move in Friday night. All right, John. I'll bet you're excited about that. That's just 2 more nights, bud. I'd be happy about that. I mean, hey, I love my parents and all, but I've had to stay with them even after being married for various reasons, and it's never all that fun. I mean, you love them and all, but boy, do they have a knack, at least mine do, a knack for getting on my nerves. But love them to pieces, and I visit them regularly, even though, In fact, I just saw my parents on Sunday, so yeah. And John says, so sort of day, okay. Well, we could talk about an hour later, depending. And, ooh, I messed that up. I gotta redo that. And Greg says, when I get my affairs sorted out, I'm moving to Arlington. Yeah, I hope you can do that very soon. There we go. And John says, yeah, happy to get away from a screaming kid. She will nitpick me to death if I let her. Yeah, unfortunately, John, I can imagine. I think that's just something families do to each other. I don't know why. So I know my family does that too, if you let them. But I've adopted the strategy that the less they know, the better off I am. So I do tell them stuff, but in general terms. And these pieces don't seem like they want to go in very well. Oh, okay, is that Greg says I plan to work at the Dallas Cowboy Stadium. Excuse me. Is that the same stadium that you went to go visit here recently? I think it is. The ones you sent me pictures of. And if so, I think that'd be really cool. Work somewhere you enjoy. And years ago, I used to work for a newspaper, and we used to sell individual newspapers before games. And because of that, sometimes I got to stay and watch the game for free. That was probably the best perk out of the job that there was. So, well, cool, Greg. I really hope you get to materialize that dream. I'm all about that, man. I don't think that if you're sitting still, you can't be steered, and you can't steer yourself in the right direction. You gotta be moving in order to be steered and to be able to have the ability to steer. So I'm happy that you got plans and you got a goal and you're working towards it. That's pretty cool. And John says, I won't take it. My ex did the same thing. I told my mom she's worse than my ex. I'm not laughing at you, John, but oh boy, I didn't realize it was that bad. Yeah, you still love her though. She's your mom. Probably security. Okay. Well, I know that those stadiums get a lot more use than just the games themselves, and so I'm sure that'll keep you busy. My father-in-law, he's a police officer, and I'm not going to say where exactly, but he's a police officer in a bigger city that has 2 stadiums, and the police get called all the time. Not in a bad way, but I mean, like, they get called upon to work some of the special events, because sometimes security can't quite get it all, and they want to make sure they have enough people on hand to keep things safe. And so he works quite a few games, and they're games you've probably watched before. So I think that's pretty cool. There was a time I wanted to be a police officer, actually, when I was I graduated high school, by the way, when I was 16. I had skipped a grade or two growing up, and so I graduated way early. I was 16, and I was in college at the age of 16 as well, by the way. And at that time, I wanted to be a police officer, and I took classes for an administration of justice degree. I ended up changing my mind for various reasons. But yeah, that's how it all got started, at the age of 16 in college. Okay, so that's a total of 7. Okay, got 2 more of these to build. I ended up getting my degree in accounting, which I don't even use. And John says, not when she lies to me. Yeah, I need a good laugh tonight. Watching Cool Runnings. That is I love that movie. I love that part where he can't get his helmet on, and he's like, Coach! And John Candy smacks the top of his helmet, and it goes on, and he goes, thanks, Coach! Yeah, that's a good one too, John. Been a while since I've seen that. Is that on Netflix right now? Or is that Hulu? Who's playing that? Because you know what? Tomorrow while I'm working, that might be one for me to get into. All right, so that's 3, 6. Okay, one more. And what year did that one come out? Cool Runnings. I think that was a mid-90s movie. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen that one. Okay, so I built those 9 little things, and now we're moving on to something else here. You know, I am going to say this about this set. I'm glad I'm not the one that had to figure out how to make this or design this one. This one looks pretty complex. So far, all I am seeing is a bunch of Technic pieces. But I mean, in all fairness, a lot of Lego sets start off as just a mess of Technic to build the frame or the support work for the frame. So it's not that unusual. Okay, making sure I'm grabbing the right one here. Okay, it looks like I am. Oh, shoot. Guess I gotta pay attention here. These Technic frames, I mean, that you gotta get them right, because if you don't, tearing these things down and rebuilding is just a nightmare. There we go. Oh, I gotta do this times 9. Okay, well, no time like the present, as they say. And John, I wish I could tell you a couple jokes, but unfortunately, it's just really hard to tell jokes, because what 90% of people will find funny, 10% won't, and vice versa. And I'd rather just not get myself in any trouble. I've actually had, like I've told you, I've been married for many years now. It'll be 25 this year. And so, joking about the wife and with the wife in person, I've told a couple of those jokes on here, and believe it or not, I've gotten some hell from people because of the jokes. And, I just, to me, that is a joke in itself. Because come on, man, who doesn't know married couples that have been around 20-something years that don't joke with each other? But whatever. Well, a lot of people these days just can't take a joke, and I'd rather not risk it. Of course, there is one Hello Kitty YouTube land these days. Greg, you speak a lot of truth there, buddy. A lot of truth there. Here's how I feel about things. All right, I've got friends from all different backgrounds. Some friends are liberal, some are conservative. I've got libertarian. I got constitutionalist friends, and you know what? I really don't care. You're entitled to your opinion, and I respect that. And actually, I like hearing the different views. But what bothers me is when, if I put something on my Facebook page and someone has to rail at me for it, I just think, if you didn't like it, you could have done the same thing I did when I saw something on your page I didn't like. Just keep scrolling. And guess what? The world keeps moving. But, hey, sorry, I speak a little wisdom there, and I don't think the world's ready for that nugget of wisdom. And, I will say that one thing that got me in trouble on Facebook many times is the fact that my oldest daughter, and I won't, for her sake and privacy, I won't say which issues, but she has some mental issues that are severe. And growing up and raising her was a challenge for me and my wife. And she's doing really good today. A lot of her issues have been, she's found coping mechanisms with them. But when I used to talk straight about it on my Facebook page, I would get people that'd be like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, "Really? I don't. I live with it. I live with somebody with these problems. What do you mean I don't know what I'm talking about?" And I'd hear things like, "Oh, you're being cold and callous. You're being this and that." I'm like, "Wait a minute. I'm sharing with you an experience that I experienced with my daughter. So I don't know how I'm being cold and callous if I'm just telling you what happened with no opinion, just telling you what happened." But again, I got in trouble a couple times with various people because they would try to chew me out over it, and I'm just like, I'm not having this right now. So anyway, we live in a very sensitive world today, and it's a damn shame, because why not? We should be able to discuss different ideas, and through that discussion, we should be able to come up with better solutions rather than a planned solution, is my opinion. And that's my nugget of wisdom for the day. But I will say that tonight it's going to be nice. I'm planning on taking my granddaughter to the park after this. We are finally out of the hundreds, so it's in the mid 90s, about 10 degrees cooler than it has been. I know when it gets this warm, what do they say, one half a dozen of the other, or whatever that saying is. 10 degrees difference, but I will take it because I do not like being out in the heat that much. And I know my granddaughter will really like being in the park. So, good day for that stuff. And you got to take opportunities as they come these days, because you really don't know if and when you're going to have the chance to do it again. So, why not? Is anybody else planning on getting this typewriter set, by the way? Just out of curiosity? Or am I the only one? Am I the only fool? Is it like Mr. T? I pity the fool who buys it. Instead, I pity the fool who doesn't eat my cereal. I always liked that commercial as a kid. It was a dumb commercial, but I loved it. And Greg says it's been 95 here. Yeah, you have the humidity too, though, so it's worse there than it is here when it's 95. And I feel for you, man. I used to live in an area that had humidity. And boy, oh boy, that's no fun. Oh, missed a piece. I'm just wondering, is this whole book going to be ×9 on everything? Like it currently is? But sorry, that doesn't make for a very interesting building when you got to do something ×9 twice in a row, but I can't control the instruction book. All I can do is plow through it and get through it. And that we're doing. So, for the next couple days, tomorrow I've got the Ford Mustang that we built, got my review video coming out at midnight tonight. And then Friday, I was thinking about maybe doing the Everyone's Awesome set as a video. And then Saturday, I'll do another live stream, part 2 of this typewriter. And that's about as far as I've gotten. I did not do a video. What was I saying? Oh, I didn't do the monthly video of my Lego tour, house tour. And I don't think I'm going to do it this month. It's already the 16th, and well, just never got to it, so we'll skip it. Okay, so that's 3, 6. Okay, I got one more. But like I said, I'd like to get back to building the city. I got tons and tons of ideas, but just very little time. But I have to. Oh, Greg says first things first, a second copy of the Porsche 911. Okay, yeah, that is a good one, and yeah, get both versions at the same time because it comes as a convertible, as you know, and in the hardtop. But I have to say, my 2 older kids did something really nice for me yesterday. I was really tired yesterday by the time it was bedtime. And I just didn't have the energy, and my kids took care of my granddaughter for me, got her ready for bed, so that when it was bedtime, she was changed, she was fed, and she was ready to go. So I really have to say I have some great kids. I'm really appreciative of that. Really made my day. I was able to get a little over 7 hours of sleep last night, which that's unheard of around here. So, well, I was joking about it being ×9, but again, it is ×9. So just working with what they gave me. Oh, and I got to work on the firehouse today. The Ghostbusters firehouse. I can do that review soon. And it is coming right along. I am almost done. I've got one little corner, little section in the roof, and I'm done. So that review will be coming up very shortly. And John, just out of curiosity, Have you talked to Shauna lately? And Greg, would you mind sharing a story, if you have any? Maybe some peculiar things that have happened on your job? And John, did you have any funny customers today? Or unusual customers? And if you can give us the sanitized version so you don't get in trouble. Like, in other words, like Dragnet used to say at the very beginning, they changed the names to protect the guilty. Not the innocent, the guilty. Alright, well that's 3 out of 9 coming up. Several disgusting people come through. Yeah. Actually, Shauna, the girl I just mentioned, that John and I both know, she was a janitor at a school for years. And she used to tell me some of the stuff they used to have to deal with. And there, it wasn't too often. It wasn't unheard of for them to find drugs in lockers. Among other things that I won't mention because they're disgusting. But yeah, she used to tell me that. Those kind of stories. And that's why I wondered if you had anything like that. And John says, I was training on a new account. Okay. And I got snarky Magnafet colors. Okay. They don't understand why their issues, which come from France, get lost, which takes 2 months to review. Yeah, I mean, you know, with me doing Bricklink, it is a challenge sometimes because, you know, sending packages regular first class is one thing, but it's so expensive to send it priority international. And so I don't do it unless they specifically pay for it because it's literally over twice the amount. And first class does not come with tracking. You know, you get these people, and I tell them when I invoice them, I tell them that, hey, if you want to go with the cheaper shipping option, it doesn't come with tracking. And what I get all the time is I get people who immediately after I tell them I shipped it, oh, what's the tracking number? And I'm like, no, you paid over less than half the price than regular shipping or priority, so it doesn't come with tracking. And then they get mad at me. Well, I want tracking, and it's like, you didn't pay for tracking, and you wanted to be cheap, so you get what you get. And then they get mad at me because, well, you can't track the package. And it's like, yeah. And for the ones that do pay for it, the tracking isn't perfect on international. So I get that, John. It is a challenge altogether. And people just, they want what they want, but they don't want to pay for it. And Greg, trucker literally took a dump right in the parking lot in broad daylight. Yeah. That's a doozy right there. And yeah, somebody should have raised him better. And I got a story about that too. I had when we lived in Germany. This was back in 2008 during the housing crisis, and I was unable to sell my home. And so rather than lose it, which would have hurt my wife's job because in the military you can't have bad credit, we had to hold on to that house somehow. And I decided to rent it out. And we rented it out to some people that we knew. Well, some people that we were friends with. It was some of their family. That's who we rented it out to. And I had no idea this guy was a jerk. the family that recommended him later apologized, but they knew what he was like, and they still recommended him. The guy was always swearing at me, calling me names. In fact, towards the end, whenever I called him, he would never call me by my name. He called me an MFer, if you know what I mean. And I got tired of it. And he fell behind his rent, and we made payment arrangements. He would not never keep his payment arrangements. And I finally, and this is what surprised him because he thought I was in Germany. We actually had moved back. And that's part of the reason I didn't evict him, was that we were in Germany, so it would have been really hard and expensive to evict him. And we weren't getting any money to begin with because he wasn't paying. So as soon as we got back to the States, he was about 4 months behind on his rent. And I went ahead and drove from Washington, D.C. to Columbus, Ohio, where our house was at. And I evicted him. I gave him the eviction notice. I walked right up. He was sitting on the porch. And he knew who I was. He had met me before. And so he walked up, and I walked up to the porch, handed him the letter, walked away, didn't say a word to him. And he ended up, they moved out within the 3 days of the letter. But when I got possession of the house again, I went through to clean it, and well, he decided that leaving me a pile of crap and a crock pot underneath the sink was the appropriate thing to do. Needless to say, he didn't get his deposit back. So, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's very disgusting. And when I say I understand, I do understand. I had to clean that up, and that was so gross. Well, actually, I didn't. I picked up the whole thing, threw it away, is what I did. But yeah. And the people that I knew that had recommended him apologized profusely. But yeah, people were just, yeah, some people's kids. And John says these are sent bulk mail, and it's funny when clergy get involved. Oh boy, that would be interesting right there. Clergy, some of the most hypocritical people I've ever met. Either they're really nice or they're really hypocritical. I haven't met anything in between. Just saying, that's my experience. And John says, hey, house was appraised at $255K. I'm imagining we got an offer at $251K today. John, that is really good news. I hope the sale goes through, and I hope that you're able to close that chapter in life right there. Yeah, speaking of which, I subscribed to a newsletter from Redfin, and they sent me something in the mail, I think it was yesterday or today, and they were telling me that, you know, what houses are selling for. And first of all, there is nothing in my neighborhood. In fact, there isn't anything for sale in this general area. You have to go 2 miles away to hit anything that is for sale. And and the closest, like I said, is 2 miles away. And the houses are actually older than my house. Of course, my house is only a year and a half, and my house is a little bit bigger than those houses. But what I'm trying to say is that I think my house is worth far more than what the real estate agent originally told me. Which, by the way, I got a funny story about that, and I'll get to that a little bit later. And Greg says, in the bathroom, someone had a party in there, and it was absolutely disgusting. I could imagine, you know, people in parties, man. They could at least be courteous to the next guy, right? So this real estate agent that I no longer want to deal with, who I don't know why she contacted me, because I told her we were finished. She ignored my email that I told her that I wasn't interested in using her services anymore. And she contacted me today, and she said, oh, hey, I got a hold of the builder, and they didn't really give me much information. They're not working with me. All I have is a map of the neighborhood, but I don't have anything else for you. And that really angered me because, look, don't lie to me. I contacted the builder, and they were so happy to hear from me. They sent me over the maps. They sent me over floor plans. They sent over the amenities list, like if you want to add stuff to the house that's not on the original design, and not only what's available, how much it costs. I talked to him and I told him that I didn't see. Oh, I did a follow-up call because I didn't see a second furnace in the house, but I know that it has the room in the utility room because I've seen one of the houses under construction 2 weeks ago. And so I talked to the lady. I called back and I said, hey, I see this. I didn't see this on the list. I'd like this. What do you guys think of it? And she was so happy to answer my question. She was like, oh yeah, we can do that. And so when this lady calls me back and she's like, or emails me the real estate agent, she's like, oh yeah, they won't work with me. I'm like, you're so full of it. All I did was call. And I got a hold of them and it was on. It was on like Donkey Kong, as I used to say. But yeah, and that right there illustrates exactly why I don't want to use her services. I saw the house 2 weeks ago, and this is the first I'm hearing from her. And when I do hear from her, it is not even the truth. So now I gotta do a search for bag number 2. 11, 7, 4. Oh, here's 2. And Greg says one time. Oh, wait. Sorry, John said I was taught to treat a bathroom with respect, even in public. Yeah, same here. If my dad would have known I would have done something like that, he would have had my butt. And Greg says one time some people had a wet toilet paper dodgeball in there, and it was all over the walls. Yeah, kind of like spitballs. Once they dry, it's disgusting. Hard to clean up. I wouldn't know anything about spitballs. Never engaged in that. Wink, wink, nod, nod. And John, I'd be so happy to get the sale done and not have to pay the association fees in New Jersey. Yeah, you were telling me the price of that. I think I'd be happy to let that go too. But work's been going a little better. The system, enough of us have complained about how slow it is that they said they were going to do some sort of check on it, and that was supposed to be yesterday. And I noticed today that the system was running a lot faster. It's still pretty slow, but it's like several degrees or shades faster, I guess you should say. Shades of gray faster. And no, I didn't say 50 shades. And that made for a better day because a lot of stuff came in today for me to process. And instead of it being a huge problem, it really wasn't. I was able to very easily get to it and get a lot of it done. I didn't get all of it done, but got a good chunk of it. Cool. Oh, okay, so now we got that goes on here. Okay, and then sorry guys, hope you don't mind me talking to myself here. It's gonna be kind of like that song, I talk to myself because I have no one to talk to. Well, John, that's one thing about this new house that I want to build. Buy and build. A long story short, there is no association there. There are CC&Rs on the property, but wow, I'm having trouble getting this on here because I'm not trying to bend the rods, but they don't want to work with me here, and I don't want to. Like I said, I don't want to bend this. I would really love to get the money together to start building that. There we go. And a lot of my stuff did sell. I bought some Clone Trooper, I can't remember what it was, but it had 4 Clone Troopers and 2 of the generic tan battle droids in it from the Phantom Menace. And I bought 28 of those sets, I think. Anyway, the majority of those figures have sold out. So that was a good buy. And just by selling the figures, I already made my money back on the whole entire sets. Wow, this is very... If I mess this up, I'm really going to be in trouble. So if you want to support me in my dream, head over to Bricklink and buy some pieces if you need them. I've got about 800,000 listed right now, and links in the description, or it will be. And I ship quick. I always ship quick. Wow, I'm really not seeing. I'm not seeing this in my mind how it's going to play out. This these parts right here, but so here we go. We'll see. Oh, I think those are the keys. Okay, now it makes sense. All right, I'm seeing it. All right, and I think speaking of just life in general, and talking about how times have changed, one thing I've noticed that's different is I grew up in a generation where if you wanted to talk to somebody, you just got off your butt and you talk to them. I'm noticing these days that, and I'm not making fun of younger people, it's just different times. I've noticed that. Some of my neighbors don't like it when you knock on their door to talk to them. They'd rather you just text them. And I'm thinking, well, you're just right there, right? But yeah, I've noticed that difference, because I remember my dad used to tell me, you just gotta get off your butt and talk to people, but apparently you don't anymore. You just text them. But yeah. Alright, so we got this here, and this up here. Oh, and then we got another piece here. Alright, so, goes on there. Okay, and then we need to drop one of these again. Well, at least I had them build all these at once, so that way this part's going somewhat faster. It'd be kind of a disaster if we didn't do it like that. Well, John, the way things have been going, with the volume of houses being down, I imagine the banks could close faster than usual. So hopefully you'll have this all said and done here quicker than normal, because I know that normally banks take 30 to 45 days to be able to close. So hopefully you can do a close right at 30 days or maybe even 21 days, because I've actually heard of some banks being able to, excuse me about that, being able to pump things out that fast. And that would be just really awesome if you could do that and get your part of the money for the house there. Oh, no, no, no. See, I almost grabbed the wrong piece, and that would have been a disaster. And I'm looking forward to all those Harry Potter sets I have sitting over here. I want to do a bunch of those. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And my kids have always been Harry Potter fans. So I know they'll enjoy it. I was talking to Amanda about her making a video, and I mean, before she moved here, she's like, "Oh yeah, I love the idea." Now she's here. "Oh, I'm too shy. I don't want to do it." It's like, come on, Amanda. You built Hogwarts. I actually have Hogwarts. I built the astronomy tower, and I have the original Hogwarts castle that came out 25 years ago, and then I have the one that came out about 10 years ago. I bought the Harry Potter little book things that open up and make a little scene from the movie. I don't want to make a scene. Ha ha ha. No. That's a safe joke. Unless we have some pissed off actors in here. So, okay. So let me explain some of the reason that I was talking about political correctness gone too wrong. I was with my sister at the grocery store, and this was just in the last week. And while we were there, a security guard at the front told her, she asked a question, and he said, "Oh, well, it's manned by this person over here." And then the guy was like, he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, man. There's a person there working the counter." And it's like, really? We're gonna get offended by the word "manned"? I mean, isn't the general word for the population mankind? But whatever. No, Greg, I did not build that one. You're talking about the $350 one or something. I know what you want to talk about, with the really tiny figures, the ones that they use as trophies in some sets. No, I do not have that one. I parted out several of them from my store, but I did not keep one and set it aside. So, and I kind of feel like that one really wouldn't get a lot of views at this point because it's been out for so long. I missed the boat on that one. This is like a real maze doing this. Like, I have to be really careful. Yeah, I think that was really cool. And in fact, I'm gonna plug somebody else's stuff because I know the guy personally. There's a guy named Jason. He's up in Nova Scotia, Canada, and he runs a company called Playwell. And he sells the instructions to that very Hogwarts castle, the extension of it. And I think it's 25,000 pieces. I can't remember. Jason's told me, and I've actually helped him source some pieces for some of it. But basically, Jason has put together the instructions for making the whole entire castle at that same scale. I mean, he's got everything, even the Quidditch, if I'm saying that right, match. It has everything to it, and I think that is so freaking cool. I just It's not that I don't like the project, it's just I have too many irons in the fire to even consider it. But again, his company's called Playwell, and he sells the instructions to that, and he does other instructions too. But Jason's a pretty cool guy. So if you're ever interested in at least looking at something like that, you can head over there. Okay, I missed something. I sure did. So what piece is that? Oh, okay. Okay, so I got that. Alright. No meaning to talk to myself, but you know, hey, I'm allowed to do that. It's my channel. I'm just kidding. Wow, this is just really complex. I hate to mess this up. And has anybody here seen the movie The Great Outdoors with John Candy way back in the day? I'd say like end of the 90s, maybe mid 90s, early 90s. I can't remember. I just remember watching it when I was younger. No, it had to be late 80s because it was before high school. Yeah. Well, anyway, the reason I ask is there's a part about these raccoons that when they see the trash cans with the lids on it, they're like, oh, those humans think that'll keep us out. And the raccoons like have subtitles to their little clicking and talking, and it's really funny. And the reason that it's funny to me is that I have a sister who lives about 20 minutes from me, and they live right on a mountain. And because of that, they have some serious problems with animals. And well, what do you expect? You know, you got a house, in their habitat, so that's going to happen. But she's got this really clever raccoon that lives there, and he keeps, like, no matter what she does to set a trap for him, he gets the food from the trap, but she never gets him. And it's not a trap that'll kill him. And she actually has gotten a hold of an exterminator service that will take the raccoon away, and she just can't capture the thing. The thing's too smart. And that's the reason I think of The Great Outdoors, because she sets these traps. Like, she set a trap and she put a donut in it, and the raccoon was able to get the donut but not get captured. And so it reminds me of The Great Outdoors, like, oh, they think those trash cans will keep us out, those silly humans. And that's exactly right, silly humans. And Greg says the most complex set I've ever had is the 1989 Batmobile. Yeah, that's a good one, Greg, and I know you've mentioned that one before. I'm taking that as one of your personal favorites. Probably I would say the most complex one, if I had to think about it, would be the AT-AT Walker that has a Technic undershell, but it walks on its own. That was a very complex set. Lots of pieces that move to it, and you gotta line them up just right or else it doesn't work. So yeah, I definitely understand that, Craig. And I imagine that one's got a pretty complex inner workings of Technic to keep it together, because that's pretty large. Oh boy, let's get this on here. This is not. Oh boy. Uh-oh. This is not good. It doesn't want to. Oh, there it goes. Oh, no, it doesn't. I spoke too soon. There we go. Oh, that doesn't go there. I just moved it. Okay. All right. So let me stop talking to myself and let me start building again. But yeah, this is. I think this is going to be a really fun set, especially to display it. I think it'll be a great conversation starter when I have people over for dinner. Especially if I predominantly display it in my living room. So we got this one going on here. Wow, that is something else. But I really am actually enjoying the complexity of this build. Makes me feel kind of smart. And that was a joke. Well, we are almost done with bag number 2. There were 2 bag number 1s, and oh, well, at least it's Technic. Greg said I sent you pics. Okay, I will take a look at those. Thanks for letting me know. I will take a look at those after the live stream here. Okay, well, that's interesting because that's different than all the other ones that have been over here. And then we've got 2 Technics. Okay. And then we've got this. And it looks like we got to build the end cap piece here, which I imagine is going to be very similar to the other one on the other side. This is moving along and we are almost done, and after this bag will be the end of the live stream tonight. Been going for about an hour, which is about my limit. That. pieces here. Sorry, didn't realize I was outside the camera. Apologize for that. Does happen from time to time. All right, well, here it is. We are here. And I imagine because of the pictures that basically this right here is going to be the keys for the typewriter. And that's all we got today. That's bags 1 and 2. You have my promise. I will not touch this. I will not build on it while we're not on a live stream. So you'll have the pleasure of signing back in and seeing me do some more here. And like I said, that'll be on Friday or Saturday, either one. But yeah, we'll do this again. And thanks for joining tonight, and thanks for viewing this. And if you like it, please hit the like button, and please subscribe if you haven't already. And also leave me a comment below. And you could also turn on all notifications. And we currently do a video or a live stream every day. Just about. Once in a while I miss, but I'm pretty good about this. And also, if you want to support the channel, you can head to PayPal. There's a link in the description to make a donation. And also, you can hit my store on Bricklink. It's called a Chip Off the Old Block. We have about 800,000 pieces. You can head there, make a purchase for your mods and mocks. I usually ship within 24 business hours. Excludes holidays, excludes weekends, just because I need my breaks too. Just like you guys do, I need them as well. And be safe out there, and be good to each other, guys. And I'll catch you on the next video.